Hey, what's up, guys? This is Ant. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it's been a while since I posted a video, as I say that in every single video. But I am back, and I'm back with another pair of gloves added to the way too many pair of gloves that I already have. But you know, it's a hobby, so I'm gonna keep collecting. I'm gonna keep reviewing little by little, and yeah, just keep sharing my thoughts and everything. Okay, but we're gonna get straight to it. Today we are going to be doing a I'm gonna go ahead and call it a review of the Fly Superlace 2 boxing gloves. Okay, so this one has been a very highly requested pair from you guys for me to review. I think Fly over the last, say specifically 2 years, has been a brand that has been very popular in terms of, you know, boxing. You hear it more often. You're starting to see more professional fighters wear Fly in their fight gloves. You know, you see a couple athletes using their sparring gloves, especially over there in the UK. Again, it's UK-based brand, so you're going to see it over there more compared to something like the United States. But even then, you still see this now in gyms more often than you used to in the United States. Okay, so I'm very excited to do a review on these. I like talking about boxing gloves. I'm going to give you my thoughts. In the future, I will do comparisons to, for example, Fly versus Winning, things like that, Fly versus Cleto Reyes, Phenom, whatever. I'm going to do all that here in the future, but for today, I'm going to focus specifically on these gloves here. All right, so I kind of, you know, if you've watched my last videos, they're usually a little all over the place, but today I have like a format that I'm going to follow, and that's going to be, you know, the first thing I'm going to start off with is the appearance. So I'm going to go over the glove, I'm going to show it to you, get you a nice close-up of the glove so you can see it, kind of get your thoughts on it, and then, you know, pause it, do whatever you need to do. Then we're going to go over the price, and then I'm going to put, I actually got this idea from Carlos, he squared boxing, so he's the one that kind of started doing this first. I'm just putting a little screenshot somewhere of the price, the description, just a little scroll through. I really like that he does that, so I got inspiration for that from him. And then I'm just going to get into my thoughts, the fit, the build, and then my overall thoughts slash a rating. All right, so without further ado, let's get right into it. This is the Fly Superlace 2 boxing gloves. Okay, this is a 16-ounce pair, okay, which is something I do have thoughts on, and we'll get into that in a second. But right now, I just kind of wanted to show you the glove, show you the inside of the glove right there. You can kind of see it with the lighting. Okay, get a nice little close-up. Super nice. I love the white colorway. I love white boxing gloves. They just look super crisp, super clean, right? Here's that side angle that a lot of people like to look at. That opposite side. This is the palm right here. Okay. Backside right here. With the punch surface, the wrist cuff. Boom. Let's get into it. All right. So the Fly Superlace 2, they're technically called Superlace Pro X2 boxing gloves, retail at $217 US. Okay, if we're including shipping, tariffs, you know, we're looking at, I want to say $270 around there for this pair of gloves. Maybe up to $300, I could be wrong, but let's just say a generous estimate of like $250 for a pair of Fly boxing gloves. Okay, so just based off the appearance, these gloves look super nice. Every time that I've seen someone wear them at the gym, or anytime I see, you know, Fly post their you know, their sparring footage, or just anybody training in these gloves, I've always really liked the way they look. Fly boxing gloves look very, they have a very aesthetic look, right? They don't look, they do look bulky, but in a way that looks nice. They don't look obnoxiously bulky, like if you look at this from a side perspective, it is a big looking glove, which I'm gonna get into in a second. It is a big looking glove, but it doesn't look ridiculous. It almost kind of works for some reason, right? Whether it be the simple logo, whether it be the like tapered wrist cuff and then the bigger glove, which I usually like. I like tapered wrists and then a bigger, like rounder surface over here, just more of like a traditional boxing glove. I really like the way that these gloves look. They look super aesthetic. The classic X line right here on the wrist cuff that I would say Fly kind of pioneered. They were the first ones to kind of do something like this, and then now you're starting to see a lot of gloves do it. You see MK1, even the new Pro Maxes are starting to do that with their wrist cuff right here, which I'll get a review on those too because I do have a pair of those, the new Pro Max Edge. But yeah, overall, this is a good looking glove, right? The new ones, the Pro X2 gloves, the white colorway, which is this one, they actually, I believe, oh, they do have an all white colorway, but the white and gold is this one. It's a gold logo, the gold Icarus logo right there. It has the gold thumb strip and gold piping around the glove, as you can see there. But the thumb is actually like a matte gray, smoke gray sort of situation here, which is very unique, to be honest. It kind of threw me off at first because it's white, gold, and gray, but then when you kind of wear it, it ends up like just looking really nice. So I'm a fan. I like the colorway that they did here. I still think it would have looked better if it was a gold thumb. But either way, it still looks cool. It's a very unique twist on a white gold colorway that you don't really see a lot of people doing. And it's good, right? So another thing before I move on, it does have a leather attached thumb right there, right? It's not like the webbed thumb that Rival likes to do. It's a little different than that. So yeah, this is pretty much the appearance of the gloves. If you want to see what it looks like when someone's wearing it, boom, right there. If you were to pull the laces around a bit, this is what it would look like. Boom. See the kind of tapered wrist, big puffy upper, you know, what a lot of people like. This right here, I know a lot of people like that, right? This is what you get with the Fly boxing glove, okay? So I actually got this pair from my friend Frankie, so shout out to you, dude. If you're watching this video, thank you for these boxing gloves. I'm really excited to go ahead and talk about them. Now that we've gone over the appearance, I'm gonna go ahead and put a little clip. I'll probably put it at the beginning, to be honest, of the Fly boxing gloves, like in action, just me hitting the bag. I don't think I have any sparring footage of them, but just I'll put something in there. That's something I would also like to start doing with my videos. So this one will be more of like a rough draft of the format I want to use. So please bear with me. I promise to clean them up. But yeah, so let's get into it. This is my favorite part, the fit and the build. I love talking about these things. This is where I feel like I can really rant and just kind of give you my true and honest thoughts about these gloves, okay? So let's get right into it. These are a 16-ounce pair, okay? And the first thing that you're gonna notice when you put these gloves on is the iconic broken in feel that everybody talks about. Fly, oh, that broken in feel, they open up so easily. And it is not a lie. There's no other boxing glove that I have that I can open up this easily. None. There's no boxing glove that I have that I can do that, okay? So for me, that is absolutely awesome. I like to have my hands open for whatever reason. I don't like to fight always like this. I don't like to spar or parry like this. I like to parry like this, or I like to be able to move somebody, whatever you need to do. I just like having the choice of being able to open your hands, okay? It's not that you can't move somebody with you can do anything with your fist closed, but it just gives you that kind of grabby feeling, that kind of grippy feeling that you can grab somebody, move them. You can open the hand to grab that shot or move the arm, shoot a jab back, right? It just gives you that option, and I do love having that option. It's a good feeling to have, okay? So if you look for that, if you've been looking for that in a glove, Fly does an excellent job of that, okay? It's my mom in the background with her dog. So Fly does a very excellent job of that, okay? All right, mama, I'm making a video. I love you too. So yes, you will get that very broken in feeling, okay? Now, here's what I don't like. It is freaking huge for a 16-ounce glove, okay? It is freaking massive. The hand compartment is huge. My hand is floating. When you lace up this glove, I can pull it off. I can still pull it off. That's the one downside to this glove that I'd say. It's not that I hate it. It's just, again, keep in mind, I have small hands. And even a buddy of mine who has like medium to larger size hands, same thing. Lace the gloves off. You can pretty much just pull them off because of how big this is for a 16-ounce glove, okay? I'm not too sure their reasoning for making it bigger. I'm assuming maybe because, you know, with the first model, they maybe got some complaints or something like that. I never owned a pair of the Fly Pro X1s. Fly Superlace, the first ones. I would like to get my hands on them just to try them, see the differences. But this glove is huge. That's the one thing I noticed right off the gate that I will say makes it lose some points if we're talking in terms of like a 16-ounce sparring glove, an everyday use glove, right? So for a 16-ounce, it is huge. I can imagine the 14-ounce would fit like almost perfect. The smaller, open, easier to open because your hand fits comfortably in there. But most gyms here in, you know, Houston or just in the United States in general don't allow you to spar with anything under a 16-ounce. So that pretty much renders every other a 10-ounce, 14-ounce. By the way, these gloves are manufactured in 10-ounce all the way up to 18-ounce. I'm pretty sure that renders pretty much anything below a 16 not useless, but just not available for sparring, right? Which is, again, I'm sure a big reason a lot of you guys would like to use these gloves. Now, if we're talking just strictly for, you know, training, no sparring at all, I would recommend going with a 12-ounce or a 14-ounce because I can see that being the perfect like feeling and size for just being able to open, hit the bag, get that nice feedback, and just be very, very fitted and compact. I could see that being a perfect size. But this 16-ounce is, in my opinion, too big. This is definitely like the size of like an 18 to 20 ounce for sure. I can definitely see this being like an 18 to 20 ounce size. So it makes me kind of scared to see what the 18-ounce ones look like if the 16-ounce ones are this big. I am going to pull down another glove just for comparison so you can see. And I think one of the gloves that is kind of like in that broken in conversation that a lot of people are having, I'd say is MK1. Rival, not too much, not a lot of people. I'm gonna go ahead and pull down the MK1s, okay? So the MK1s right here. This right here is a nice compact 16-ounce. See, still pretty easy to open. Not as easy as Fly, to be fair, but you see how it kind of gives me at least half of my arm, right? To, you know, it's not super big. My Fly is like almost like right here. Check it out. I'll go ahead and put the other one on. All right, so this one, it's a pretty noticeable difference, to be honest, right? This one's almost to my elbow. This one's a lot higher up on my wrist. So for me, this is more of like a compact, good sized 16-ounce. It doesn't feel overly big or overly long. So this is perfect, right? But this one, it feels massive. Now, it's not to say that I wouldn't use this because I still do. I love using it because of this, right? It feels really, really nice to be able to do that, okay? But back to what I was saying, it is a bigger sized 16-ounce. So just keep that in mind if you are a smaller guy or female and you're looking for a 16-ounce glove to start training in or sparring in. It is a little bigger than your traditional 16-ounce. So it will lose points for me on that, okay? Now, aside from that, the build, it is a synthetic leather, I believe, and I'll read the description here for you guys just so you can, you know, take it from them and take it out from me. It is an engineered artificial leather shell with reinforced double stitching for maximum durability. To be honest, I cannot see the durability of the shell being an issue in this glove. When I say the shell, I mean the synthetic leather that they use the stitching, I can't really see that being a problem for these gloves at all. I think that will hold up pretty well with a good amount of use. The one thing that I can possibly see wearing out on you is the padding, okay, which we're going to get into next, okay? The description on the Fly website says this is a high density foam for ergonomic comfort and elite level absorption. I do not think this is high density foam. I definitely do not think this is high density foam. Look at how I can do this, right? This is a very soft foam. Now, I'm not saying that they're lying. I'm not telling you that at all. This is just what I think, right? This is a very, very soft foam. A high density foam would be the Rival HD Guerreros. If you haven't seen my video on that, go watch that video. Just see how I'm knocking on the padding, and then you'll see what I mean by high density foam. There's absolutely no way you could ever get to this point with the HDEF Guerrero sparring gloves. There's no way you can do this, none at all, right? Because of the nature of the foam. Now this, I do not believe is high density foam. I believe this is very, very soft to medium soft foam, right? So that's where I was going with. I can see that maybe being an issue in terms of durability, right? If you're punching through the padding, you're using these gloves all day, every day, I could see the padding wearing down on you and getting flat very, very quickly. Now, hopefully that's not the case, you know, and the people that have maybe owned their pairs of gloves for years, at least the Pro 2s, I don't know about the Pro 1s, I'm not speaking about those. Let me know your thoughts. Like, have they lasted on you? Like, is like genuinely lasted on you? Because if the nature of the padding can stay like this for a very, very long time, then I think that's fantastic. Because when you do hit the bag, it almost like compacts the padding. It's a very, think of a puncher's glove type feel. Now, not a lot of people say this is a very pillowy glove. I disagree. I actually really disagree because of the nature of the padding, right? You can easily punch through this padding. Like, I can feel my knuckle right there. This is more of a puncher's glove than like a pillowy glove, how a lot of people say. I actually really disagree with that it's a pillowy glove. Maybe because of the look, I can see why people would say that, but the nature of the padding, I can feel my knuckle. You'll definitely punch through the padding on this way easier than you would like even a winning, right? So yeah, I would say that this is actually very, very soft padding. So just keep that in mind if you have knuckle problems, hand issues, you know, you hurt your hands a lot. You will definitely punch through these gloves, and you will be able to feel your punches through that, which isn't a bad thing. Like, I personally love the way they feel on the bag because I'm a person, I don't like two round gloves. I like, boom, punching it, feel my knuckle, boom, come with the right hand, feel my knuckle. I like to know that I'm punching properly. I don't like the big overly round gloves, and that's just my opinion, right? So yeah, I can see that being an issue. I know I just kind of went on a little rant there, but I kind of wanted to let you know that because, you know, I'm a person that all of these things, I find them super interesting, how everyone has their different types of paddings and everything. But yeah, this is definitely a softer padding. Again, not to say that they are not telling the truth, because that's the source. Maybe I'm misunderstanding something of what they meant by that, but this is, to me, definitely soft density foam. The way you can just easily open this up and press through it, and I don't see this being high density foam, but I love the way it feels. I really do. If this glove was more compact, I think this would be amazing. It would be probably my favorite glove, to be honest. But since it's a little too big for me specifically, it does lose a couple points, and I wouldn't want to grab this every single day, knowing that when I open my hand, you can kind of see it right here. Pay close attention. You see how the glove kind of like almost comes up a little bit because I'm making a lot of effort to keep my hand inside the glove. When I open it, it almost like slides off a little bit, right? And that's just not something that I personally enjoy. So I wish this was a little bit smaller, but overall, I think this is a very, very solid glove. It is definitely one of the most unique gloves that I have ever tried, in the sense of the padding. There's no glove that I've tried to this day besides the Pro Fight gloves from Spartacus that have this feeling, okay? Right here. Let me pull the glove down. This right here, right? None. And this is minimal use. Like this isn't something I had for like a year. This has been for like 2 months that I've used this pretty consistently. And even when I first got them, they were already like this, right? And again, my friend that gave me these, he didn't use these often at all. He got them pretty much when they released, gave them to me about 3 weeks later, something along those lines, right? So this isn't a glove that's been broken in. It kind of just came out of the package this way, and I think that's fantastic. I think that is really awesome. I think it is something you should take into consideration if you do have brittle or fragile hands and you feel like you can hurt your hands. Just take that into consideration. But aside from that, I'm overall very happy with this glove. I'm glad to finally have gotten my hands on a pair of flies. I've definitely been on the lookout for them, and obviously because of your guys' requests and things like that, it's a good glove. It's a very good glove. I don't think you will regret getting a pair of these at the price point, $250. I will say, I think because of the size, I would much rather go with like a rival glove, an RS100, an RS1, an RFX Guerrero, and Lomachenko edition, pound for pound, which those are a little bit more like $330, right? But I would much rather go with something like that if I only had one glove to pick because of the size. That's it. Everything else about it, the padding, the look, the way the laces are, even the circular laces, the long laces, they're freaking super long. I love that. I really do. I really do. And I give Fly their props because they made a spectacular glove. I just wish they were a little bit downsized. But hey, that's just my opinion. Doesn't mean they won't fit good for you and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and throw some punches because I know a lot of you guys like to see what they look like in action. Like I said, I'll put a clip, boom, at the beginning just so you can see. Pop a little high guard, boom, 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 boom. Right here. Pro X2s, Fly boxing gloves. Okay. Forgot to mention right here, minimal padding. I'd say about an inch, right? 3/4 of an inch of padding. It's soft padding, similar to the glove right here. Very similar. See how I can just kind of squeeze it, right? Same thing. But it doesn't do a bad job of protecting the wrist. So overall, if I had to give this glove a rating, this is getting a very, very, very solid 8. 8 only because it is a very unique glove. There's no other glove on the market that I've tried. Again, that I've tried like it. Super broken in, straight out of the box. Beautiful looking glove right here. But the durability of the padding is still in question. The size is a little too big for my liking. This does not mean that they did something wrong or that you're not going to like the size of it. It's just too big for my hands, for my body, right? But if this was a little more compact, this would be in competition with that bad boy up there, which is currently my favorite glove of all time, the Rival Pound for Pound edition right there. But it is not at that point, okay? So maybe in the future they will release a third line, or maybe they will, I think, hey, Fly, listen, if you want to do something similar to Rival and do a Fly or a 16-ounce small, and I got my hands on that, then I could see this being one of the best gloves that I have ever tried. It is definitely up there already, but it's not quite there yet because of the size. It is a big 16-ounce glove. If they did a 16-ounce small, I could see that being an amazing, amazing, amazing idea. I don't think everyone would buy it because I don't think a lot of people understand how big their standard 16-ounce is. So I think if they kind of, marketed it, hey, if you have big hands, big hands, go with the standard 16-ounce. If you're a smaller guy or girl, medium to small hands, go with the 16-ounce small. I think I'm just giving out ideas here. So I think that could be an amazing idea for them. But as they stand, they are an 8 out of 10. Do I think they are worth $250? Honestly, yes. This is the first glove in a while that I would actually say is like priced pretty well. At, compared to everything else. So I like these gloves. I like their groin guard a lot. I have their groin guard right there. I like their headgear a lot too. So I definitely want to get my hands on a cheek head guard and see how that goes, and definitely try their boots. I've heard a lot of good things about their boots. But yeah, overall, 8 out of 10. If you guys are thinking about getting a pair of these gloves, just keep that in consideration. They are big, okay? A 16 ounce fits like a 18 to 20 ounce, in my opinion. And if you have big hands, big wrists, big long wrists, then you may love these. Okay, so yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another YouTube channel. This has to another YouTube channel. Man, I'm rusty. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another YouTube video. This has been my review on the Fly Superlace Pro X2 boxing gloves. My rating was an 8 out of 10. They are priced at around $250 US. Do I think they are worth it? I'd say yes. Just keep that in consideration, everything I mentioned about the size, okay? Aside from that, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Stay tuned for my next videos. Let me know what you think about this new format, and let me know if this helped you make a decision in what gloves you want to buy next. See you guys in the next video. Peace.